I've just seen something poking out of the mud over there. It's got a rounded edge, and I shall zoom in on it, see what you think. It's just there, you see? It's got like a little hole in the top. So let's go and see if it is anything or if it's just a piece of metal. Let's go and have a look. Oh, it definitely looks like something. Oh, it's quite bendy, maybe it's plastic. Look. Oh no, here we go. What's this then? Some kind of little label, isn't it? Oh, I like that. Little something per mile. Shropshire iron something. Oh, lovely. Well, that's something to research, isn't it? Okay, nice little find. Now down here I've just seen this little chain, and I'm wondering, or I'm rather hoping, that it might be part of some chainmail. But I've got to be honest, I have no idea. It really might not be, but I'm going to have to ask Simon. I'm sure he'll be able to tell me, but wouldn't it be amazing if it was? That would be the first piece of chainmail that I found. Oh, I really, really hope it is. Fingers crossed. Now down here I've just seen the neck of a bottle poking out. Just here, look, you see? Of course, I'm now full of hope that perhaps it's an entire bottle. How amazing would that be? But probably quite unlikely. Let's see what there is. Let's see what there is. No, it's definitely not a whole one. Oh, gosh. That would be so amazing, wouldn't it? I think, I don't know, I can still feel it going down. Might be just a nice neck. Let's have a look. Let's see what we've got underneath here. I'm going to, I think it's just the nice neck. I'm going to turn the camera off and I'll come back when I've got it out. Well, it is just the neck, but it's a very delightful neck. Part of an onion bottle, I believe. And look at the colour, look at the lovely colour that's coming through there now. That rainbow hue. Let's give it a little rinse off. I've had a little investigate down here and I can't find signs of any more of it, most unfortunately. Right, here we are. Let's give it a little rinse off. There's a lovely example of a neck of a mallet bottle or an onion bottle. Oh, that's so nice. That's beautiful. I reckon there's going to be a lovely colour come out on that as well. Look, see what we've got over here. It's a beautiful old boat hook. Look at that. Now that's nice, isn't it? Shall have to take that. I just stopped here because I saw this piece of shrapnel sitting amongst the rocks left over from the Second World War, and then I noticed the neck of a bottle, so I just pulled it out, not expecting there to be still in it the stopper. It's always a delight finding a bottle neck with a stopper in it still. Just here though, we'll have to give it a little wash. I'll leave my shrapnel there a second. Right, let's give this a little wash. Here we are, nice little place to wash it. Oh yeah, look at that lovely stopper. It's full of bubbles. Let's see if I can get it out. Yeah, look at that. Wow, I've never seen a stopper like that with all those bubbles in. It's like a fizzy stopper. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Let's find the sun. Do the obligatory bottle stopper in the sun shot. Very nice indeed. I've seen a pipe bowl over here. It looks quite large. Oh, there's a little shrimp or something in there. Oh, see that little shrimp swimming around? Something just came out of it. Let's have a look. Oh my gosh, it's got something on it. Look at that. Oh wow, I love that. It's a pirate pipe. Oh, I've never seen one like that before. I absolutely love that. Oh my goodness. That is find of the day. Oh, amazing. Skull and crossbones pipe. Look at this. So, see what we've got here, look. See the end of a pipe stem. Let's see if there's a bowl on the end. Oh, I think there might be. Oh, I think there might be, you know. See that? You can see a nice fluted bowl there. Oh, look at that. That's gorgeous. Ease it out. And there we have it. A beautiful fluted clay pipe. Oh, I'm really pleased with that. So I just spent ages digging out this piece of metal here, looks like a bit of copper, hoping it might have something on it. I don't think it does, but I quite like it, so I'm going to take it home and clean it up and try and make something with it. So stay tuned for that. I just saw a round piece of glass down here, and a little bit of investigation shows that it's a really nice stopper, look. at that, isn't it gorgeous? Little bottle stopper. Well, what's caught my eye over there are those two plates. And of course, I love finding pottery on the Thames, but these look a lot more modern, and I can also see that they've got some writing on them. So what's going on here then? What is going on? Aha! So somebody has written their thoughts on a plate and thrown them in the river, I guess to let go. Oops. Must be quite recent. I guess there is that sense that when you throw something into the river, especially at high tide, and you just see it disappear, that you can let go of painful emotions. And that's what we're looking at here. Lots and lots of painful emotions written on a plate. Okay, I'm going to take you over this little patch here. There's lots of little bits and pieces. Lots and lots of little bits of metal here. And if we go a little bit further over here, I have seen something down here which I'm hoping is an old coin. Just here. Can you see it? It's just here, look. Let's see what it is. Yeah, that's definitely an old coin, but what old coin is it? It's quite worn, isn't it? You might not be able to see what that is, but I'm going to put it in my finds bag and take a closer look at it later. Now over there I've just seen what looks like one of our favourite finds, a pipe bowl. Look, can you see it? Just there. Let's go and take a closer look. Indeed it is. Probably just a little bowl. Oh look, it's actually got a maker on it, which is excellent news. Well, I haven't seen that one before. That looks like nightingale. That is a new one for me. Where was it made? Nightingale, Stratford. Oh, that's great. That's something new to look up. Pipe maker called Nightingale. Stratford. It's obviously been out of the mud for some time because it's not black. Well, I'm looking forward to looking up Nightingale from Stratford. Oh my goodness, look what we've got here. I know exactly what these are, and do you? If you've watched some of my previous videos, you may recognise these. Well, these are fish throat teeth, otherwise known as pharyngeal teeth, in the throats of fish such as carp, and actually I think these could be carp pharyngeal teeth. Welcome to my studio, and if you've made it this far, that's really great news, because it means that I'm going to be able to share with you the information that I have found out about this marvellous, magical mudlarking display of objects in front of me here on this table. But firstly, I hope that wherever you are, you're having a good time, and that you're having a fantastic morning, evening, afternoon, night, whatever time of day it is with you. I wasn't here last week, so it's doubly exciting to be here this Sunday sharing this video with you. So I'm going to start straight away with what has to be my favourite finds, and if you're a regular watcher of my videos, you may have guessed that that is going to be clay pipe related, and it is indeed this one here, this marvellous skull and crossbones pipe, which I must admit, when I picked it up, it just transported me straight to the galleon of a pirate, a swashbuckling pirate with a sword in one hand and a clay pipe, this one, in the other hand. And you could forgive me for that, because it does have this marvellous skull and crossbones on it. And of course, I also have proof that pirates exist on the River Thames, in the form of these two Thames-found pirates. So what more proof do we need that there were, and probably are still, pirates on the River Thames? And I'm sure that any pirate would be smoking a clay pipe with a skull and crossbones on it. But the reality is, this clay pipe wasn't smoked by a pirate. It was more likely smoked by a soldier in the 17th Lancers, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. They were a cavalry regiment of the British Army, and their motto was death or glory. And also you'll see the cap badge here has the very same skull and crossbones on it. Now interestingly, they had their depot at Woolwich in 1852, and I found this clay pipe very close to Woolwich. And so it looks almost certain that the 17th Lancers were out and about one day having a smoke, and for whatever reason this one got tossed into the river. Maybe the soldier broke it accidentally. But also, thanks very much to Paul Gamble, he has an entire intact clay pipe, exactly the same one, and marked on the stem is indeed 17th Lancers, and Paul has kindly allowed me to put a picture of his pipe here on the screen, so thank you very much for that, Paul. And thank you also to Mark Julian, who actually pointed out this clay pipe which Paul had found, and asked Paul if I could use the picture. So thanks very much, Mark and Paul. It's always really nice to have a full example of something that you found. So I've got the bowl and Paul has the entire pipe. So Paul, if you want to swap, just let me know. I'll be very happy to do that. So that's that. Now also, funnily enough, the barracks where the 17th Lancers were at Woolwich were called the shrapnel barracks. And of course I found a rather nice piece of shrapnel on the foreshore, which is here. I've shined it all up, a little remnant of World War II. And I should mention as well, I think if you might remember in the video, I put this shrapnel down on a rock to go and wash off the fizzy bottle stopper, which is here. I also put down the boat hook when I went to wash the fizzy bottle stopper, and unfortunately the shrapnel is the only thing that came back, because I totally forgot about the boat hook. So I don't know what was going on in my little mind then, but anyway, I left the boat hook. So if you're down on the Thames foreshore and you come across a boat hook, it could be the one that I found. Maybe it's still there, I'll have to go back and check. So that's the story of the skull and crossbones 17th Lancers clay pipe, and we may as well stick to clay pipes for a minute. I've got this one here, which is, you know, compared to the skull and crossbones one, is just so very flouncy and feminine, isn't it? I mean, it probably was smoked by a man too, but it just looks so much more feminine, almost operatic. It's got these beautiful curtains there, and it's also got a very pronounced maker's mark on it, and it was made by William Cope, a Woolwich clay pipe maker. It's always great to find the makers on clay pipes, because it does add an extra layer of interest and intrigue. And indeed, this one, which I found, was rather unexpected. I've not found a clay pipe by this maker before. It's marked with Nightingale of Stratford, so I immediately sort of started researching Nightingale, the clay pipe maker of Stratford, and thanks to resources like the Society for Clay Pipe Research and the Pipe Archive, and there's all sorts of information out there. So I did establish that there was a Thomas Nightingale who was making clay pipes in the early 19th century. He was born in 1820, died in 1860. But I think, in fact, that this clay pipe was made by his father, William Nightingale, also a clay pipe maker. And the reason I think that is because when I was looking at the electoral registers and the records of where they were all living at the time, it seems that his father, William, was living a lot closer to Stratford than where Thomas was apparently making his pipes. And so this clay pipe here could have been made by William Nightingale back in the early 19th century, and I've actually managed to find out that there are some descendants, so I've written to them, and if they get back to me and they'd like to have this clay pipe, then I shall be giving it to them, because it's always really special being able to reunite objects that we find in the mud with families that may have a link to them. So that would be a great thrill to give this pipe to the descendants of the Nightingale pipe making family. So that's that for my pipes. I'm going to move on to this tiny little find here. I'm so glad I picked these up. I nearly didn't, you know. But I have checked, and my mudlarking friend and colleague, Monica, has confirmed that this is indeed chainmail. So I'm really excited about that, because I've never actually found any chainmail before, and it probably dates to the 15th or 16th century. I mean, that's just amazing, isn't it, to hold in your hand something from the 15th or 16th century. It was probably hand forged, made of copper alloy, and would have been part of a suit of armour. So that's just incredible, holding a little piece of history like that in my hand. Moving on to my lovely coin here. Lovely, but very, very worn. And despite my mudlarking friend Steve giving me a couple of books on coins, sorry Steve, I can't identify it. I can see the faint profile of a monarch on there. I'm going to take a photograph or two. I'm going to put it up on the screen, and maybe you can tell me what this coin is. I'm really bad at coins. I'll be honest, I'm just pretty bad at coins. So here's a lovely coin. What is it? I'm going to move on to this beautiful old tag, which was probably attached to a big roll of cables, I think. On here is the Shropshire Iron Co. Limited of Hadley, near Wellington, Salop. And by the way, I found out something I didn't know today, that Salop is another name for Shropshire. Shropshire Iron Company Limited manufactured all kinds of iron and steel and telegraph cables too. So that's why I think that this probably came off of a roll of cable. That's my feeling, but who knows? But I do love it. Just so much nicer than the plastic labels that we get today. And that's been sitting in the mud for a long time because it's got the date of 1908 stamped on it. Now this piece of pottery here has an interesting story to it. Unbeknownst to me, at the same time that I found that, my mudlarking friend Jemanda Speedwell also found a piece with some different words on it, but from the same epigram, and she did some fantastic research and found the epigram which dates back to the early 18th century. So this is the rest of the epigram. So there we are. It's always nice to fit a piece of something into the jigsaw puzzle and see what the rest of it is. So thanks to Jemanda, I now know what that line comes from. Brilliant research. As always, Jemanda's brilliant. Look her up on Twitter, Jemanda Speedwell. She finds all sorts of incredible things in the mud and does some really fantastic research too. Oh, here we are. We've got round to the marvellous teeth. Now, a few years ago, probably about 2 years ago actually, I found some of these teeth. I was horrified at the time to find out that they are fish teeth. I hadn't realised that fish have throat teeth, but they do, and these probably come from a carp. And so now I have not only one, but two, well, let's say an entire set of pharyngeal teeth that would have once upon a time been in the throat of the carp, so that when it sucks in all its little shrimps and plankton and whatever else it sucks in, it gets all kind of ground up in the fish's throat. So there we are. They are just so curious looking. They really are so strange, and so there you are. Don't put your finger in a carp's throat, or any fish throat for that matter. I'm going to move on here to this beautiful bottleneck, this bottleneck of disappointment. Every mudlark knows what it's like to come across a bottleneck of disappointment. You see it there and you think, oh, is it going to be a whole bottle? And you start digging and then you realise that it's just going to be a piece. But it's still beautiful in its own right, and it probably dates to at least the 18th century. So, I mean, again, to hold history on your hand that dates back to the 18th century, it's just absolutely marvellous. So I've got that, and it joins my collection of other bottlenecks of disappointment. But this gives me the opportunity to just show you my onion bottle, definitely not of disappointment, but which could have been, because it started off the same way. The neck was sticking out of the mud. I started to delve down deeper and pulled out the neck, broken. But then, to my delight, discovered that the rest of it was there in the mud. So here it is, I managed to stick it together, and it remains to this day one of my favourite ever finds. But it started off with the neck poking out there, and my heart was beating with excitement as I started to excavate it. So that was one of the lucky ones. I've also got my great big piece of metal. I haven't done anything with it yet, but I soon will be. I'm going to spend a little bit of time getting creative soon, so hopefully I'll be able to make something out of that. So I think that's it. So thanks very much for watching. If you've got any additional information that you'd like to share, please do put it in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And if you'd like to treat me to a virtual cup of Earl Grey tea, then that would be wonderful, but no obligation. You do not have to at all. My Ko-fi site, which is where you can contribute to treat me to an Earl Grey cup of tea, I shall put the details in the description of this video. But honestly, it's really quite enough that you watch my video and that you enjoy it. That gives me the greatest pleasure of all. So I hope that your week ahead is a good one, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you again very soon with some more history from the River Thames. Thank you. Bye-bye.